Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on today's Get2Know webinar on Traxon EQ's ProPoint Kontour. My name is Nadine, Traxon EQ Marketing Manager. I will be moderating today's session. Presenting will be Henning Cederquist, Key Account Manager for Nordics, and Mark Permine, Traxon EQ Product Manager for Europe. Mark will also answer all your questions during and in depth after this session in a little Q&A. So please feel free to post all your questions in the little Q&A chat box on the right-hand side of the screen. The session will also be recorded and we will provide you a link afterwards per mail. So now I will hand over to Henning.
Thank you, Nadine. Hello, everyone. From me. Do you see my screen now, Mark?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Then we are live. So happy to have everybody here in the call, and I have the honor to present to you this new innovative product named ProPoint Kontour. I will show you some slides with different applications, and we will also dig through the details of the product. I also have some products here on my desk where I want to show you live in detail. And as Nadine already mentioned, we have this Q&A session at the end. So please, if you have any questions during this presentation, please post your questions in the Q&A box. There should be a little question mark where you can add your questions, and Mark will try to answer them as long as we go, and we will follow up at the end. So we will do that, and then we will just start this with a short product video that we already did for this product. So here is this video. So what is the ProPoint Kontour? It's a linear diffused luminaire. It's designed to be used in long installations, so simply designed to create a long line of light. So the ProPoint Kontour was designed to be used in this specific project in the US. The Traxon team worked closely with the customer and the designers to understand the project needs and then develop this contour based on these requirements. The total installation in this project will be over 6,000 meters. So what were those requirements? It had to be designed to create a long line of light. It had to be easy to install and therefore cost effective. It also needed to be robust, maintenance free basically, and also maintenance friendly. That sounds strange to have something maintenance free and friendly, but for sure, if you install it, you want to have it maintenance free, but if anything happens, you also want it to be really maintenance friendly. So for this project, this ProPoint Kontour is truly a problem solver, basically. And now, when we add it to our portfolio, it becomes a project enabler, basically. We can do so much more projects like this with long lines of light now when we have this product available. So the ProPoint Kontour adds to the already very strong portfolio of, sorry, too many slides, the Traxon linear diffuse portfolio. So we are adding the ProPoint Kontour narrow and wide to the very strong portfolio we already have. And it enables us to scale up from small, medium, and sometimes quite large projects to the really, really big ones. So it's mainly possible because of the main voltage system that we use in the ProPoint Kontour. So it has internal power supplies. It also has the traditional Traxon plug-and-play system with incoming and outgoing connectors. It's easy to install and therefore very cost effective, as already mentioned, and maintenance free and friendly. So I'll show you another project our colleagues in the US already did also. So it's the Palliser 1, this building in Calgary, next to the Calgary Tower in Calgary, Canada. This building was originally built in 1970, but recently updated and renovated with this new metal facade. And by adding the ProPoint Kontour RGBW along all four corners of the facade, the Palliser 1 now looks truly up to date and it really stands out. So the metal facade makes it look great in the sunlight, maybe also in the moonlight, but the ProPoint Kontour really makes a difference in the dark. You can see some details here to the right. So they used 306 pieces of the ProPoint Kontour narrow 2.4 meter version. So we will come back to that a little bit later. They also use the control system, of course, from EQ with the LCE2MX server, etc. So let's have a look at a typical urban skyline. So welcome to Dallas. Architectural contours exist everywhere in a typical skyline. So as I said, architectural contours, that's where the name ProPoint Kontour comes from, right? We want to create lines of light. So to a typical skyline like this, we want to apply lighting to accentuate, adding life and energy and identity to buildings, creating landmarks if you want. Sometimes these buildings would not be very visible or stand out during the day, but they can be so much more visible in the dark. So when we add some light and lines to these fixtures, we create extra depth to this skyline. So let's have a quick look. I've never been to Dallas, but let's have a quick look at this picture. So we have this building over here. It really stands out. It's the first thing that catches my eye probably because it's the tallest building, but also because of the color, I think. So for this type of project, the ProPoint Kontour would be perfect, basically. Long lines of light. We have another building. I'm not sure exactly what this is, if it's a media facade or if it's art, I don't know. It looks to be like 8 or 10 parallel lines of light. Looks to be 15 to 20 stories tall. That should be almost 500 meters of installed luminaires. We have another one here in the background, almost. It's red horizontal lines. I'm not sure what it is, but this is also very possible with the ProPoint Kontour. You could basically feed from the bottom and you can go sideways and up and sideways. It would be similar to what we call snake mode installation. Also very possible with the ProPoint Kontour. Next one in the skyline here is something blue. Blue is always blue. It's interesting for the eyes in the dark. Difficult to see almost, but always interesting. This looks to be like a square with 6 times 6 floors. Could be like 60 meters of light or something. Last one, almost, this rooftop over here, it looks to be very tall on the building. So that's a position where you really would like the maintenance-free solution. And this one in the background, the final one, I'm not sure if it's even lights, but it's really exclusive. Looks like a bank maybe, I'm not sure, but also very long lines, possibly of light. Anyway, what I'm trying to say that these architectural contours, they exist everywhere. So we just add some light to them, so we will accentuate them and make them pop out a little bit more. Next example I have is in Dubai. So great architecture always have some strong, distinct lines. This is Burj Al Arab, the Arabian Tower in English. It's one of the world's tallest hotels, more than 300 meters tall. It's designed to look like the sail of a boat. Most likely, I'm not sure, I wasn't there, but most likely this building was some elegant brush strokes on that architect's first sketches, right? So somebody draw this building from scratch. So now it's here, and let's have a look what happens in the dark. So we want to add light to those lines. So let's not distract, let's enhance those lights. Those lines. So for this, the ProPoint contour would be ideal. It's, I already mentioned, 300 meters tall, so it looks like 1, 2, 3 lines, could be like 1,000 meters. In this case, the ProPoint contour is of course digitally addressed and dynamic, so we can do any type of gradient, dimming down to 0. So to the left here, we have this gradient coming from the bottom and up, and to the right, we could do a gradient from the top going down. We could, of course, if we use the RGB or RGBW fixtures, we can also do any type of gradient in color tone from cold white to warm white. And yes, of course, we could do all the amazing colors. Now, what I'm trying to say is that the light designer draw this building once. Sorry, the architect draw this building once. The contractor build this building once. But we, as Traxon EQ, with a product like the ProPoint Kontour, we could draw this building, paint this building over and over again every evening. So it's an amazing possibility for a product like the Kontour. Next. I want to show this also. So it's difficult to see on this slide, but if you have a look closely to the left and to the right, you can see that the narrow ProPoint contour compared to the wide would be more visible from a further distance in the darkness. So basically the width of the fixture will add to the viewing distance. So if you have a very large project that you want to have visible from a far distance, then the wide ProPoint contour would be ideal. Next example is in Riga. Sorry, not Riga, Tallinn, my mistake. So let's go to Tallinn. So this is the T1, the Mall of Tallinn, where we use dynamic lines across the facade to make this shopping mall pop out. So it's an architect design from start with the goal to make this massive shopping mall stand out right next to the airport in Tallinn. So imagine having this shopping mall right next to the airport. It's true, you need to go there to see it yourself. So these lines, they are also part of the communication going out from the shopping mall. So it's used for traditional seasons, greetings like Christmas, and also for other events. So it's technically controlled by an EQ system, but it's totally managed by the shopping mall marketing team. So they control these lines and they communicate different messages using them. So when we did this installation a few years ago, our friends in Tallinn, they designed this project using the very popular Traxon media tube, and they added these metal reflectors basically behind the media tubes. And this was only because we wanted to make it more visible from a further distance. So this is an example where the ProPoint Kontour wide would be very useful. If I go back one slide, you can see again that from a long distance like this, it looks a little bit like the lines are like 10 centimeters wide at least, maybe more, but the actual media tube used is only 2.5 centimeters, 25 millimeters. So the reflectors really do a big difference here. So ProPoint Kontour would be perfect for this. Another place where the ProPoint Kontour would be perfect is for bridges. So bridges normally have issues with the power feed. And for this case, on the left here, we have a small bridge in Houston over Route 59. I guess it's about 90 meters, and the ProPoint Kontour would easily do that on one cable. You could even go over and back again if you want to. On the right side, we have a large bridge, the Lupo Bridge in Shanghai. It's totally 750 meters, but that center span, when the big arc goes over the bridge, it's about 550 meters. So that would be possible with the ProPoint Kontour to feed from both ends and to meet at the center. So that's a true benefit from the ProPoint Kontour. Now you heard me say up to 305 meters, and you saw it also in our little product presentation video. Just have a look at some iconic buildings to figure out what is 305 meters. So first of all, 305 meters is only possible if you have 277 volt AC available. That's not for all markets, but it is an available standard. For the Europe market, it's more common with the 230 volt AC, and for that voltage, we would reach 240 meters. So it's still a very long installation, and very big buildings like these could be divided in two sections, similar to what they did in the Palliser one in Calgary. You can feed from either from the bottom and the top and meet at the middle, or you can feed from the middle maybe and go both ways up and down. So benefit from the product. So let's have a little bit more in detail look at the product. So Kontour is available in 4 lengths. You see it here, 300, 600, 1200 and 2400 millimeters. It's available in 2 lens options. So it's the diffused flat that we are seeing here. It has a radius of 120 degrees. And it's available in a round version, I will show you in a second, but it's also available in 2 widths, so narrow and wide. Next slide would be the round wide. So here you can see the round version and the wide. So the difference between narrow and wide, actually the narrow isn't very narrow. If you compare it to the media tube HO that we have had as a popular product for years, the narrow is almost double the width. So it's 46.5 millimeters. It's about 13 watts per meter if you want to calculate power. Calculate power, yeah. The wide is then 75 millimeters. That's 60% more wide. So it's also a little bit more powerful. It's 16 watts per meter, but those two together, it will be equal in light output, basically. Next slide I want to show you is we talk about the width, and this is made to be very visible, but at the same time, it's still very, very slim on the height. So it's designed to be very slim. If you want to install it on a facade and make it integrated into something, then the height is still very low. And that's mainly thanks to the mountain bracket. So I will show you the mountain bracket live here in a second. So the mountain bracket is a key to the very low height of this fixture. When we look at the length, I want to talk basically about two things here. First of all, the very long one. Let's have a look at the bottom one at the picture. So 2,400 millimeters. That's a 2.4 meter fixture. It's from the floor to the roof here in my office. So this long fixture is the key, one of the key factors to this product. It's when you use these long fixtures, that's when you get the maximum installation friendly solution, basically. So if we have an example, the Palace one, for example, that you saw before, it was 306 fixtures used in that building. If you're installing 306 fixtures, then you are opening 306 boxes, you are installing 612 brackets, and you are mounting 306 fixtures. Then you would have installed 735 meters in that example. If that same product would have been a 1 meter product, then the same example would be opening up 735 boxes, installing 1,470 brackets, and then 735 luminaires. So the long fixture is the key to the cost-effective, installation-friendly solution that the ProPoint Kontour offers. I also want to mention the smallest fixture here. You can see it on the top of this slide. So that fixture has cables coming out a little bit on each end. So that's normally because that fixture is normally added as a before the gap or before the end of a length to make it perfect at the end. And then you have a little bit extra cable. Maybe you need to go behind something or around a corner maybe. Then you might not need an extension cable if you have that a little bit extra cable. So more about the product specifications. So it's designed to be robust. It's IP66, the whole system through. It's IK 7 or 8, depending on narrow or wide. It's vibration proof. It's suitable for coastal environments, and it's the temperature wise, it's from -30 to +55 degrees Celsius. So it's designed to be really robust. Look at the LED color options. These are the standards for the colors, so standard RGB, RGBW. We would also have the standard white and warm white. So that would be our standards, and available on request. If you have any other request, we could do all these versions of white, and of course also the standard LED color versions that you normally see. So those would be available on request. If we look at the fixture housings, they are available in 3 colors, the standard gray, black and white. And these colors, together with the standard LED colors that I showed on the previous slide, they are all available on MOQ1. So you can order one piece of these standard versions. Of course, in this case, there are also other RAL colors available, and that will be on request and possible for your project if needed. So next slide would be about resolution and pixel size. So if you need to reach the longest distance with your controls, with your DMX signal, then you would most likely need to increase the pixel size, so reduce the resolution a bit, because if you run on full resolution with the minimum pixel size, then you might run into the end of the data signal, basically. So you need to, well, normally the big projects, they can use the big pixels because that's normally the content you would use. It depends on the contents in the programming. So you need to calculate this together with us maybe, and we will figure out the best solution for your project. But they can be configured from factory before the delivery in anything from 300 millimeter pixel size, 600, 1200, or if you have the large fixture, full fixture, 2,400 millimeters. If we look at the installation, again, it's designed to be simple, quick and easy to install. So you would have the small mounting bracket. I will show you in a second. It clicks into place. It's very adjustable. And you also have the click and connect connectors. If we look at the accessories, you have the injector box. That's very robust also. It's IK10, and it's also approved for temperature up to 55 degrees. You have the start cable, power input cable basically. It's a 3-meter cable with open ends, so that needs to connect to the power feed. Then we have interconnection cables that you use between fixtures if needed. They are available in 1, 2, 3, and 10-meter versions. You have the end cap at the end of a line, and you have some RG45 field installable connectors to basically feed data in and out of injector boxes. All in all, the system is rated IP66, so it's very robust for use. Now I want to show you these products live, if I can. So I have prepared here on my desk. This would be the power injector box, power data injector, sorry. It's smaller than previous versions of injector boxes that we use at Traxon. So it's very slim, easy to fit, very adjustable mounting holes here, you can see that. So injector box looks like this. We have the power input cable, pre-connected in one end and open wire in the other end. I have the extension cable here with connectors. Let me show you. So these are the connectors. It's a different type than we use on previous products because these are click and connect. So I will connect them together. Did you hear that click? So you need to twist it to make it open again. And if you look down one of these, you can see the red rubber gasket. So that's basically at the very bottom of that connector. So that's what I'm pushing together to make this click. Now these connectors, they are from the cable seal here. They are all sealed with resin on both connectors. So this is one of the most robust connector I've ever seen personally. It's a really robust connector. This is the end cap, same connector basically, twist lock and the same gasket. Nothing to say about that. I want to show you this slim mounting bracket. Let's see if I can get this up to the camera. So first of all, very slim, of course. This little tongue here, it's the locking function for the fixture. So you would put your fixture into this and you will just move this and lock it with the 2 screws here. So when the screws are tightened, this little tongue cannot move anymore, so the fixture is locked. And also this hole here, the mounting hole for the facade, it's very big, you could say, but together with a screw, I just grab one example screw here with a washer. You can see that it's adjustable a few millimeters up and down. And also this bracket is adjustable. It can basically be anywhere on the fixture lengthwise. So you have adjustability both up and down and sideways if you go horizontally. So this bracket is key to the quick and easy installation and very flexible when you install it. Now over here I have the fixtures, some sample fixtures. We'll turn them on for you. So these are RGBW, now they're only on full white. So I want to show you the difference between the narrow on the top here and the wide on the bottom. Maybe you can imagine the difference in the viewing from a far distance. This will be very much more visible from a far distance compared to the narrow maybe. And if I move them up like this and show them from the side view, you can see the difference in the flat diffuser on top. It's not so much visible from the side as the round diffuser. So the round would have a radiance much more to the side. So it depends totally on your project, basically. If we look at the pixels I talked about before, it can be configured to this. So this is 300 millimeter pixel size. This would be 600 millimeter pixel size. And then it can also be 1200 pixel size. And if you have the long fixture, it would be also possible to have it 2400 pixel size. Finally, I can show you the colors, of course. I know you trust me if I say it's an RGBW fixture, but of course they can be any type of the traditional colors. It's just moving through a color sequence. Last thing I want to show you is this acrylic. This is the acrylic cover. So it's a UV stable acrylic cover that we call diffused lens. So let's see if I can swap to the next slide here, Mark. Yeah, can you show this picture I took, Mark? So we call it lens because it's actually on the inside, it's very advanced. So these lines, they collect light and makes the radiant coming out perfect, basically. So on the outside, it's smooth, easy to clean or whatever. On the inside, it's very advanced and collects the light. Let's have a look at the wiring diagram. So the system wiring diagram is similar to many other Traxon products that we have. So you might recognize this. So it's the injector box that I showed you. It's a mix of fixtures and interconnection cables coming out from one injector box. And at the end, there will be an end cap. And if you have more addresses from the first line, then you can use data coming out from the first injector box to the second injector box. So this is the standard wiring diagram, basically. Now all our resources for this product is already available on the website. So if you go to the website, you will find this video that we showed in the early stage of this event. And we also have all the spec sheets and everything that we normally have for this product. You would find the data sheets, the specification sheets. They are normally very complete. They have all the information and also examples from the wiring diagram. And there is the flyer. If you want to send information to somebody, sometimes the flyer is better because it's easy to get an overview difference between different versions. Next slide would be mounting guides. We have the mounting guides and the installation guide. So they are very complete also, show you all the steps of the different things required in an installation. And last up, we also have available Revit files. So if you want to design your building complete with 3D modeling, we have the Revit files already available. And there are also additionally 3D step files that we can send to you if needed. So that's basically all the information is already complete and available on the website for download.
Thank you, Henning. And if you don't want to miss anything around dynamic lighting and functional lighting, register to our new Traxon EQ newsletter. Thank you all for joining and have a good day.